This year proved to be an exceptional year for manga and anime. Epic saga concluded, main characters died. Anime movies competing in the box office, the isekai genre is still going strong. Some big new titles have hit the TVs, and as usual, pretty boys doing their thing. Additionally, some new manga gems, or as I would like to call them, the supernovas of manga emerged as formidable contenders to take over the manga industry. In this video, I've handpicked 20 manga titles to share with you. I'll try to keep it light, not spoil much, alternate between established titles and the best of manga that got released this year. Make sure to subscribe, bookmark this video, and let's get started. Blue Lock. Despite the anime being over for a year now, the hype for Blue Lock have never stopped. It's still on the top of the sales charts and projected to be the #1 manga in sales for 2023. Moreover, with the new movie hitting the screen in 2024 and potentially a new season as well, things will only get better. But the important question is the manga still that good? And the answer is, oh yeah! With a new arc showcasing our Blue Lock heroes facing world champions, the stakes are high. Ever competition, matches are even more complex, and the art style of the manga is still one of the best, if not the best, of all sports manga. So, if you're not reading the manga, you sir or madam are missing out. One more thing, there is a spin-off from the author of Blue Lock himself, telling the story of Nagi that starts before the events of the Blue Lock. That is as well worth checking out. Jojo's Bizarre Adventures Part 9. We all know Jojo, we all love his adventures, and if you don't, well, I got 2 words for you. Jojo was back with a new adventure, new main character, and a new stand. The 15 years old drug dealer Jojo Joestar in a world where Dua Lipa is canon, and also the unspeakable plague is canon as well. In a certain tropical island, let's follow the story of how Jojo Joestar and his stand's November Rain will become, in his word not mine, incredibly wealthy. Part 9 started this year, and with only 1 volume released so far, it might be a good manga to read and keep an eye on for the next year. Kingdom. The war to unify China is still raging. The state of Xin is trying to unify China under one flag, one rule, the ruling of King Se, and his favorite soldier and the protagonist of this story, Xin. If you're not familiar with Kingdom, I just told you the storyline, with an anime adaptation and a new season each year. A faithful movie adaptation that is smashing many records in the Japanese box office. There were never better time to start reading or watching this epic saga of unifying China. 2023 provided us with an exciting new arc and a new war that is still happening right now. Clever maneuvering, military plans, strategies, and unforgettable duels between great generals is what you will get if you start reading this manga right now. It's been always in my top tier of my favorite mangas, and will forever remains. Revenge of the Baskerville Bloodhounds. It's true that the title of this video do not mention anything about manhwas, but the few that I will mention in this video, like the Revenge of the Baskerville, are truly worth it. The Revenge of the Baskerville Bloodhounds tells the story of a soldier who got executed by the head of his family, his father. Miraculously, he finds himself reborn as a newborn, retaining all of his memory and skills. If you think this is an isekai, well, technically it's not, because he fought himself a newborn true, not any newborn, himself in the past. He just got another chance at life. This manhwa is set in a Tolkien-esque medieval world infused with magical elements. It diverges from a typical isekai narrative by adopting a darker tone and making ingenious use of its setting. He is a brilliantly crafted character whose intellect shines in his second life. Armed with his foreknowledge of the future, he carefully strategizes to amass power and orchestrate his vengeance against his family. This manhwa has 50 chapters so far and shows a promising story. One Piece. One Piece have been around for 26 years, probably older than most people who are watching this video. Still as exciting as ever, I can say with confidence that 2023 is the pinnacle of the One Piece franchise. And this year we have witnessed a successful Netflix adaptation that shocked everyone. A record-second One Piece anime movie, One Piece Red, Gear 5, and much more. And let's talk about the story. Oh boy, right now the manga, it's on a whole new level. Oda-sama, the genius behind it all, seems to be steering us closer to the final arc, and the excitement is never seen before. Luffy, the future pirate king now Oyonko, has awakened his devil fruit, and after an epic showdown with Kaido, his gears are just rolling. Next year is going to be an epic year for the manga, as we are heading closer and closer to unveiling the secrets of the Forgotten Century, the ancient weapons, and, more importantly, the One Piece. Dogsred. Dogsred is a thrilling new addition to the sports manga genre, diving into the world of ice hockey, a sport that have never been handled in modern manga, at least in the few hundred that I've read. With its current 14 chapters, the story promises to be an exciting journey. It's poised to become a classic, potentially joining the ranks of the iconic titles like Slam Dunk, Ace of Diamond, and Haikyuu, with the right audience and support. At its core, Dogsred can be encapsulated by one simple phrase: if he wants to go wild at the ice skating rink, isn't he better off as an ice hockey player? This manga follows the tremendous journey of Ryu Shinakawa, figure skater who achieved the highest score ever in the All Japan Junior Figure Skating Championship, only days after losing his mother in a tragic car accident. Overrun by grief, a burst of rebellious energy, and frustration over the lack of funds despite his talents, he causes chaos at the event. Ryu's story takes a dramatic turn as he returns to his hometown after the incidents in Hokkaido and joins the local high school hockey team, the famous Oinokami High School, and their quest to reclaim the National Hockey Championship. Dogsred is definitely a manga to watch out for. It not only offers an exciting story with a wild but lovable protagonist, but also comes from the already acclaimed mangaka of Golden Kamuy, Noda Satoru. Will Dogsred be another hit for him? Only time will tell. Homonculous, a magic possessing the extraordinary ability to see beyond the facade of people, directly into their deepest traumas, insecurities, and fears. This is the central theme of Homonculous, gripping manga that follows the journey of Suzumi Nakushi, an intriguing man living in his car, who seems to have a tendency for lying and hiding his true nature. Down to his last yen, a weird man offers him a sum of money to perform a weird but harmless procedure on his head. After undergoing this weird surgery where a hole is drilled into his skull, Nakushi gains the unsettling ability to perceive the true essence of individuals as grotesque, monstrous figures known as homunculi. This story follows Nakushi's experience as he navigates through the complexity of human nature, revealing the underlying traumas and secrets that shape each person. Homunculus offers a compelling exploration of the human side, delving deep into the impact of past experiences and hidden fears, all wrapped in a narrative that's as haunting as it's fascinating. Baki Rahen. If you are not familiar with Baki, then you are missing out. It is a simple manga that follows the lives of many martial artists, all striving to get stronger. No hidden threats, no secret organization that tries to control the world. Nothing at stake but the honor of these martial artists. It is as simple as that. They meet in an alley, a ring, a street, a house, a bar, a restaurant, literally anywhere, and fight simply to figure out who is the strongest human being. Baki is the main character of this story, seeking at first to defeat his father, the strongest human that ever existed. And no, that is not an exaggeration. He is the strongest man. He even have a treaty with the United States of America, a peace treaty. Anyway, back to the story. That was the premise of the original manga at least, but now it's gone way beyond past that. If you are intrigued by the story, the anime is on Netflix and is pretty accessible and entertaining. But if you already know Baki, then the mangaka just released this year a new iteration, following Jack Hanma, Baki's brother, and how strong he is with. What I am about to say right now might sound like a joke, but it's very, very serious. You need to read it to understand. And how strong he is following the path of the martial art of biting. Baki Rahen is still fresh with only one volume released, so if you cannot get enough of muscly sweaty men pounding each other, this one is for you. Hajime No Ippo. Hajime No Ippo, a true manga heavyweight with over 1,400 chapters, has carved its place as an epic saga that surpasses even One Piece by 300 chapters. For over 30 years, it's been an exhilarating ride, thanks to the compelling main character Ippo and a fun, interesting supporting cast that keep us hooked. Hajime No Ippo is about the story of Makonoichi Ippo and how he fell in love with the world of boxing, looking to truly become a strong man. He starts as a rookie who cannot even throw a punch, with no talent whatsoever. With dedication, training, and hard work, you, the reader, will witness his progress and his journey into becoming a champion. The next part will contain spoiler about what's happening in the manga this year. So, this is your warning to skip if you want to give it a chance. While Ippo remained retired, we're still treated to glimpses of him sparring and training with other boxers. The anticipation for his triumphant return has been building up, and Morikawa Sensei, the mangaka, knows how to dangle that return carrot in front of our faces, page after page. We have no choice but to remain eagerly waiting. But even in Ippo's absence from the ring, the mangaka delivers some pretty exciting boxing matches on the war stage, featuring former opponents and friends, showcasing incredible bouts and their progress that keep this series alive. It's safe to say that all of Hajime No Ippo fans are enjoying this ride, while hoping for an epic return of our champion Ippo. Let the next year be the year. Red Blue MMA fan, this one is for you. Red Blue is a manga about a boy with an average build who just joined an MMA club just so he can defeat the Prodigy, one of the rising talent of Japan, his only friend that stood up for him when he got bullied. Follows the story of the protagonist Aoba as he slowly picks up moves and adds them to his arsenal to hopefully one day become a strong fighter. With an objective that seems beyond reach, how would Aoba catch up and finally beat the hell out of the already experienced fighter Kenshin, so he can finally pay him back for making him feel so small that one day. Currently, the story have around 30 chapters, and it slowly keep building up and fleshing out characters to one big tournament. If you love fighting mangas, or interested to see how an MMA manga would work, check this out, you will not regret it. No Wadachi. No Wadachi is that type of manga, upon reading it, it will scar you for life, and I'm totally fine with it. I love psychological stories that make you question so many random things in life. Those kind of stories can only be found in Japanese mangas. It delves into some deep disturbing subjects while still make it somehow entertaining. No Wadachi is the perfect example of that. It follows the story of Seishi Osabe, a 14 years old. Not the shonen kind of 14 years old, more like a regular one, a slightly weaker I would say. With a loving mother and a hard-working father, his life will drastically change after an accident happened in a camping trip. I don't want to tell you more. This one you need to experience yourself, cause it will require all of your attention to distinguish between the illusion of a boy and what is really happening. No Wadachi is already finished, so prepare a cup of tea, book an appointment with your psychiatrist, and pick this manga up. The beginning after the end. Isekai, a genre overused so much, a genre with so much potential, a genre that besides 2 or 3 titles to a seasonal flavor of the day. Well, flavor of the season I guess. Honestly, I have given up on finding some new isekai stories that is not repulsive or annoying after the first or the second volume. That was the case until I started reading the beginning after the end, and the best way to describe it is jobless reincarnation anime. Story, light novel, I don't know, you got my point. It is a manhwa that clearly knows its audience. It focuses more on the characters, world building, and power system, consequently reducing the harem aspect and cutting the number of useless characters. This streamlining allows for a more engaging and a cohesive story. Another impressive thing I have noticed while reading this manhwa that the author always tries to throw some Easter eggs to other related famous mangas. Some are funny, others are just clever. This can break the tension and give a rewarding feeling to anyone who recognize these small references. So, follow the story of the protagonist King Gray, or reincarnated as Arthur, in his journey in this new world. Kengan Omega. Following the explosive success of Kengan Ashura. If you don't know Kengan Ashura, oh boy, you need to stop this video, go watch it. Honestly, I'd recommend reading the manga because it's way better, but if anime is your style, go watch it. It's on Netflix right now. If you love fighting mangas or sports mangas, Kengan Ashura is the ultimate form of entertainment, heavily inspired from Baki and Yu Yu Hakusho. The whole manga takes place in one freaking big tournament arc, with more than 64 fighters and more than 30 matches, all of them written with love and care. And each of these fights show new techniques and new fighting styles. From MMA, boxing, jiu-jitsu to wrestling, every style gets the love and care that it deserves. Okay, now you should have enough context about this series. Kengan Omega continues on the same style, set 2 years after the original events of Kengan Ashura. It adds more interesting characters, new fighting style, new dynamic relationships, and furthermore, a tournament arc. And what's even better than a tournament arc, you say? A good training arc. This manga masterfully blends martial arts action with an actual good plot. So, whether you are a fan of high action mangas or just want to see the ultimate form of manhood, Kengan Omega is a must-read that stands tall in the arena of martial arts mangas. Kill Blue. This one I'm hyped to talk about. We all know, or should know, Detective Conan, and how a certain drug turned him into a kid, and the whole story afterward. Well, this manga starts to say, but instead of a high school detective, we start with a legendary mafia hitman that gets bit by a special insect and reverts to 12 years old. And that's how the story of Hitman Ogami and how he will blend as a middle schooler. Kill Blue follows the common trend of shonen manga these days, about an assassin retired or living a normal life, but this time the twist that he reverts to a kid. This manga offers a delightful mix of humor and some action, all woven into an engaging story with 33 chapters already in Shonen Jump. It stands as a strong contender for an anime adaptation in the upcoming year. So if you're looking to get ahead of the curve, start reading Kill Blue now. Telework Yotabanishi. 2023 was a tough year on many aspects. Sometimes you need to read something to feel the warmth again in your heart and get away from your troubles. This manga is just what you need. It's a short story that was published in 2022 that tells the story of a nerd, one of us, the engineer Nokuru Mutsuhashi, and his little apartment, and how he found love when his new neighbor Natsu Izumi starts living in the next apartment. Set in the midst of the COVID era, a time when teleworking shifted from a novelty to a necessity, this manga will relate deeply to anyone who transitioned to remote work during the pandemic. It captures the essence of this unprecedented period with a humor and wit, while also exploring the subtleties of finding love during unexpected time. Martial Master Asumi. With the rise of the popularity of MMA in Japan and the increase of number of MMA organizations, it's only natural for this to be reflected in manga industry, and that's why we got another new MMA manga, Martial Master Asumi. Nito Asumi, a high schooler who lost his father and have a grandfather with dementia, get introduced to us as a weakling who gets bullied at school and hate fighting, but later in the first chapter we found out that he trains every day with his sick grandfather in grappling, as during practice is the only time when his grandfather becomes somehow lucid, as we discover that his grandfather and his father were among the best martial artists in Japan. Watch the story of Nito as his skill gets revealed against his bullies and we discover his competitive side. Although he hates violence, once a match or a competition starts, he cannot stop himself from winning and dismantling his opponents. The manga shows great promise, with great dedication to MMA moves and techniques. The fights are easy to read, even for someone who does not watch MMA, and even hates it. I'm talking about myself here. Even the boring part of MMA, which is the grappling, is rendered fun in this story. Again, my opinion does. Here it is, guys, another Shonen Jump MMA manga with the potential to get more popular in the following years. AoAshi. If you did not watch the anime season of AoAshi or did not read this manga, you are in for a treat. If you love football, this will be perfect for you. With confidence I can say, this is the most technical, detailed, authentic football story in any of the available manga, and oh boy, the manga do not hold back. It showcases the hurdles and struggles to become a professional footballer in Japan. It does not follow the typical structure of fighting to become the national champions, nor it does have those typical characters that you will find in any of the sports anime. You know that kind, the one who can does it all, or the one who can imitate any technique that he can see once, or the character that specializes in long-range shots. It focuses on the story of Ashita and his journey to improve as a footballer, and it does that while portraying the status of Japanese football at this current age compared to other countries. Minor spoiler right now, if you want to watch, this is your cue. The current arc might be the last one, as the main character team, Kaido Football Club, is playing an international league, where they are facing the top teams from all over the world, and in any manga, this usually means the end, or the last arc. So, this is your chance to jump on the bandwagon before the final chapter. Kagurabachi. Imagine a manga where you have a young protagonist, let's say a teenager, who's good with a sword and have some magical powers. His purpose all along the manga is revenge for his fallen family. Now, let's say this manga is set in a unique time period with a slight twist. Magic and sorcery exists. Well, you might think this is almost like a handful of other Shonen Jump mangas that already exists. And you are completely right. Kagurabachi is one of the new promising Shonen Jump mangas that takes an existing formula of success and builds on it. It draws the tale of young Shihiro, an apprentice blacksmith, training under his father, one of the best blacksmiths in Japan. His life drastically changed after a dark day soaked with blood where he loses his father, and now, as you guessed it, he is on a quest for revenge. If this is like any other Shonen Jump manga, then why bother reading it? Well, I gave it a chance, so you don't have to. And after 10 chapters of reading, I think this story will take its own standing in the Shonen universe. The main character Shihiro is different than your usual cheerful, hopeful main characters. He gives off the vibe of a Sasuke or a Vegeta type of character, more than your usual main characters. The art in this manga is absolutely amazing, and the story is easy to follow. Although the main lies of the plot are expected, that does not mean the journey itself is not interesting. Kagurabachi will be soon one of the pillars of Shonen magazine in the near future. The Fable. This one is a hidden gem. When I first discovered it, I was amazed by why this does not have an anime adaptation yet, although it have a quite successful Japanese live-action movie. The Fable is an action comedy manga about a skilled assassin taking a break for a year after orders from his boss, and his only 2 rules to follow during that year is he has to live a normal life and not kill anyone. It's a clever blend of slice-of-life moments filled with dark humor and sudden, gripping action sequences. The story navigates through the dualities of the Fable's life, the mundane and the lethal. It's a journey into the heart of a man who can be a neighbor in one moment and the next one a deadly phenom. If you are a fan of the current animes of a hitman or a spy, not in his typical environment, to my knowledge, the Fable might be what started this trend. So feel free to check it out. Boruto, True Blue Vortex. Since the title of this video is the best mangas for 2023, I have to mention Boruto, True Blue Vortex. It's true that the Naruto universe have lost a lot of followers after the end of Shippuden, but nevertheless, the Boruto saga is still going strong. This year, Boruto, True Blue Vortex is released, and is the Shippuden part of Boruto. It takes place after a 2-year break from Boruto the manga. It started on a serious tone, with new character designs, powered up heroes and villains, and more importantly, some great fights. Will this be the part that will bring the OG fans back to the story, or it is just an attempt to keep this franchise alive to sell more merchandise? Only time will tell. March comes like a lion. Time for the final section. There are a lot of mangas I really wanted to talk about in this section, but finally I decided to pick an unusual manga that I find it deserve more love, more recognition, and more readers. March Comes Like a Lion is a manga that many more people should know about. If you give this masterpiece a chance, it will capture your heart. It's a unique slice-of-life manga with over 200 chapters. It weaves a compelling tale centered around Rei Kiriyama, a shogi prodigy who has endured the loss of his family. This story immerses us in his daily interaction with the Kawamoto family who opened their heart and homes for him, his intense shogi competitions, his high school life, and his relentless training journey. The manga delves deeply into the complexities of human emotions, the relentless pursuit of dreams, and the transformative power of connections. March Comes Like a Lion is one of those stories that is best when personally experienced. At its heart, this manga is all about the emotions and the relationships of its characters, with everything else serving to convey the central message. Even if you're not a fan of shogi or don't quite understand it, that's not a barrier to enjoying this narrative. Shogi is merely the canvas used to paint a broader theme of ambition and emotion. It could be any dream pursuit, be it drawing, singing, or coding. The primary focus is on the feelings and the experiences shared by those who chase after their dreams. Hi again. If you made it this far, thank you for sticking through. I hope you give a try to a few of these manga suggestions and let me know. Thank you for watching, Happy New Year, and as always, see you soon. Bye.